What's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer. And we're here with a Storm Collectibles review. Actually, this is the Storm Arena series, Street Fighter Alpha 3, not 03, Ken and Ryu. I have been eagerly awaiting these figures. I'm doing them both because they're essentially, when it comes to sculpt, the same figure, just a few different accessories, and of course the head sculpts. Now, I won't lie, I've messed a little with the Ryu figure already. These guys came in with that Big Bad Toy Store shipment, which totally derailed my G.I. Joe reviews. Don't worry, Monkey Wrench will be coming up shortly. But I digress. I've been eagerly awaiting these. You know I am a huge Street Fighter fan. Again, we are doing Alpha 3, not 03, so all the names will be the proper US names. Back of these absolutely showcase the figure. I know Storm Collectibles sent preview figures out to a lot of reviewers, so of course this is going to be a whole lot of just more my opinions, but enough about the boxes, enough about the stuff. Man, those do look good next to each other. Let's go ahead and get these guys open and talk toys. So these figures are an absolute dream to mess with, especially following that Hunter Rose figure, the Grendel figure. See review up here. These are, plain and simple, these are fantastic figures. From the plastic to the articulation, they look awesome together. If you did not buy the Jada figures, and you're a Street Fighter fan, I absolutely recommend these. Let's just start with that. I absolutely recommend these. Storm did a fantastic job. I have been a collector of Storm figures for quite some time. I've got almost a complete Mortal Kombat run. I've got a number of their Street Fighter figures. I've got a number of their King of Fighters figures. But, of course, with Storm Collectibles, the whole question of completing a roster will always hover over like a black cloud. And that's a big factor to this. And we'll talk more about that later. I'm going to say right now, if you have the Jada figures, keep your Jada figures. Don't sell them. That's a near complete roster right there. About to be a complete roster. But if you're a fan of action figures, I do recommend these. If you're doing a Marvel vs. Capcom shelf, actually these would be fantastic for that. So, and if you're not wanting to go complete Street Fighter, I absolutely recommend these. So that's kind of the basics on them. We'll go ahead and, you know what, we're gonna mess with Ken. So, the joints, they honestly move like butter. They are toleranced perfectly. I can get the double knee, no problem. Double elbow, no problem. There is a really nice butterfly joint in here as well. With the gi, of course, kind of restricts the ab crunch. That's just the nature of the beast on that. And probably the biggest addition to this is the drop-down hip. So that allows me to do some great kicks out. But the drop-down hip is really kind of one of the things that sets this figure apart. And you got a toe joint too. Yeah. The materials, great soft plastic for the gi top. You have, the hands are squishy rubber too, which makes it very easy for changing the fists. I want to point that out. You don't feel like you're forcing anything in. They don't feel like they're working themselves loose. It's absolutely effortless. Both figures, of course, will have alternate hands. We'll talk about those in a moment. The gi, I believe, is removable. You can actually unplug the belts, and you can undo all this if you choose. We'll go ahead and do this in real time, I think. I don't want to pop this guy too bad, but you can see it's a lot of little work on here, and it's tricky doing it in front of a camera. It's going to let me pop that off. Yep, there we go. That just goes off of there, that goes off of there, and the gi opens up, and here's we can see the body. And we can of course take the gi off right now. If you like your shirtless Ken, you can do a shirtless Ken and Ryu. And the buck is absolutely awesome. That hand came off, but that's not a big deal, because again, that just pops on quite easily. My only worry about that, maybe if the rubber gets soft during the summertime. With this though, we can take advantage of that ab crunch. It's that joint right there, and oh my gosh, that's just not right. We have a little bit. We have a soft plastic overlay here, so we can actually still turn the entire torso around, and that's actually pretty cool. So it doesn't look human, but it's pretty cool. There we go. Now you can do a much more subtle turnaround time, and then kick that up, bring that up here, bring that down there, change that over, and this is awesome flying axe kick pose. So, whew, but that's Guile. But that's pretty cool that he can do that. It just makes me excited that Guile can do it. And we can do the full splits, which is pretty damn spiffy, to be honest. So when looking at accessories, I gotta say, Ken kind of has Ryu beat for most of the case. But Ryu has one thing I wish Ken had. So both will have alternate heads. Ryu has a more serious, grim, and gritty head, while Ken actually has that smirk head. This hair, by the way, it's nice and pliable, and it gets out of the way as needed, but unfortunately does force block a little the looking up. Gotta say that. But both have alternate heads. Both get a pair of the Hadoken hands, or you can also go for Tiger Palm Strikes as you choose to. So both have those. But Ken also gets an additional peace sign and a beckoning taunting hand, which I think is pretty cool. Ryu doesn't. Ken also gets a flaming fist effect, so we can actually give him a fiery uppercut, which is very cool, by the way. I'm very excited for that. But Ryu's the only one who gets the fireball, even though Ken does do Hadokens. Now, the fireball is on a rigid stand, as opposed to the Jada one. I do like how the Jada stand could go with different angles. This is a 3-piece transparent pole. I'm not gonna lie, I probably expect to see this cracking one day in the future. Fireball does look pretty cool, but I actually really do prefer the Jada fireballs, which means I can also let them use them. They also both come with a stand. Here's the thing though, Ryu only has one base for both of these. So I could either put Ryu on the stand or use the fireball. Can't do both. The stand, by the way, is very interesting. It is adjustable. It's okay plastic. It's not the best. It's better than a McFarlane stand. This is actually adjustable for the angle. And then you get two different grippies, I guess. So it actually put the kick... Whoops, dropped it. Well, that was an awkward edit. Anyway, you get two different grippies. You either get the plastic one or you get the metal one. Metal one, of course, I think holds up a little better, but these are just tension that you can just drop in the stand. And that should keep the your Street Fighter of choice in a nice mid-air pose. It holds it fine. Is it groundbreaking? No. Is it plastic breaking? Doesn't look like it. But it's fine. It's good for a display piece. I don't feel it's going to be, the joints are going to be, drooping from the heat or anything like that. I can adjust the figure while he's in midair. This actually would look really cool if they ever did a Mortal Kombat line. You could have Liu Kang doing the bicycle kick. I think that's kind of neat. And it's simple. It's fine. And it comes with a stand. That leaves it at that. One thing that is cool though, he can do a proper Hadoken pose. The hands actually can get very close to each other, and actually much closer than the Jada ones could. Definitely because of the very deeper butterfly joints. I gotta say though, I still like the Jada Toys Fireball a lot better, and I like that stand better because I worry about this thing falling. All right, there we go. Come on, real time this date, real time this man. I don't like having to edit these things in there, but I want him to stand in front of you guys, just like a figure is supposed to. There we go. So yeah. And again though, you can't use both this and that because they use the same face. Ken looks perfect though, by the way, with the flaming effect. I was annoyed that the only way for me to get this for Ken is to get the Player 2 Ken, but it works. And again, it's the nuances to it, and that's one of the things I really like about these figures. These are absolutely going to be Figure of the Year candidates, period. Not to take away from Jada. I'm not doing the direct comparison to these. Okay, I'm not. Everyone has done those reviews. I'm not. I'm talking about these figures by themselves. Are pretty much near perfect action figures. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. Don't get me wrong. The gi, actually, because of the nature of the material and all, does actually hinder a lot of the articulation that he actually has. When I say he, they share the same buck. When I took the gi off, I got a lot more articulation out of it. But it's also a pain in the ass putting the gi back on. When I was putting Ryu into this pose here, I actually was able to ended up popping his torso off the waist. Not a big deal. Put it back together. Life is good. Just saying. Got to be objective here. But the materials are awesome. The joints are just buttery smooth. I get some fantastic poses. These guys look like they jumped right out of the game art. I would have loved more hands, more parts for Ryu. I would have loved a fireball for Ken. So, and the fireball, like I said, is okay, but easily, like I say, Jada has a much better one, period. And of course you can mix and match them. They look great together. Biggest thing that Storm has floating over its head is that dark cloud of never finishing a roster. For the Alpha 3 series, we know we're getting Sagat. We know we're getting Dan. We know we're getting Nash, or Charlie, depending which game you want to go with it. I have to double check. I don't know if we're getting Sakura or not. But that's the thing. Someone has told me that that's all the figures are going to make. All that's been announced. All the silhouettes that we have. I think they're getting a Zangief. Okay, I literally have to look up the sheet off the top of my head. Jada is doing Alpha 3. The thing is, Jada's got the track record. I know with Jada, I'm probably going to get cool characters like Rolento, like Sodom. You know, the guy with the Kabuto helmet. We're going to be getting those characters, and of course we're going to get a Sakura. We're going to get another M. Bison. You know you're going to get those from the alphas. So that's the big thing. These are absolutely fantastic figures to have. There is no faction. There is no tribalism between these. It's worth getting both of them, to be honest. Yes, this is just that much more. I'm a big fan. I don't drink a lot, but I do like my vodkas. Jada Toys is like your Kettle One, okay? It's a near perfect drink. Life is good. Sorry, not Kettle One, like Tito's. Jada Toys are the Tito's vodka of action figures. It's not the well. It tastes good, or it goes clean. Life is fantastic. This is my Grey Goose. It is just that much better. That's the easiest way of putting it. So, absolutely, I recommend it. I mean, come on, we're a fandom where people have how many versions of Snake Eyes, how many versions of Optimus Prime. You can have 2 Ken Ryus. I mean, honestly, I actually now have 4 Ken and Ryus because I look at my regular Storm collectibles, my Figuarts, my Jada, and now these guys. And you know what? I'm happy. And you know what? I'm happy, and I hope you're happy too. Once again, more stuff's arriving. I literally had to stop this video because Hasbro decided to ship me something else today that I did not realize was coming today. So the backlog is getting longer, which means more videos for you guys. I think we're going to go back to the Joes after this one. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and as always, until next time, take care. Peace.